got time, she's gonna make it through the night. She's gonna make it through the night. Another runner in the night, blinded by the light. Wrapped up like a noose, another runner in the night, blinded by the light. Wrapped up like a noose, another runner in the night. In the dark with the lungs of the eyes, messing fun, wrapped up like a noose, another runner in the night. In the morning, baby, I'm over at the track, pushing around. With his battery of pleasing, sneezing and wheezing, like a lion be crashed to the ground. Now Scott with a slingshot, blindly found a dead spot, lover is the same. And some not shot, forget me not the daddies with an air shot, take a buckshot, turn up the band. Some sell the cold system, the manager mister, told me I got what it takes. She said I told you once I need you something strong. She got down, but she never got tight. She's gonna make it through the night. Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a noose, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a noose.
ignition and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Endeavour, providing power to the station as we continue to build our future in space.
into his hair. With a boulder on my shoulder, feeling kinda older, I trip the merry-go-round.
Roll program.
Houston now controlling the flight of Endeavour. Endeavour completing the roll. The shuttle now in a head-down wings level position for the 8.5-minute ride to orbit. 5 seconds into the flight, Endeavour's 3 liquid fuel main engines beginning to throttle back in a 3-step fashion to 72% of rated performance. That will reduce the stress on the shuttle as it breaks through the sound barrier.
Wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night, blinded by the light.
Endeavour already 1.5 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. All systems reported to be in great shape. 52 seconds into the flight, the main engine's beginning to rev up to full throttle, 104% of rated performance.
Endeavour, go at throttle.
Turn you on, son, into something strong. Play the song with the funky break. And go-kart Mozart was checking out the weather charts.
The throttle up call from spacecraft communicator Gus Loria. On board Endeavour, Commander Brent Jett, joined on the flight deck by pilot Mike Bloomfield, flight engineer Mark Burnell of the Canadian Space Agency, and mission specialist Joe Tanner. Seated alone down on the mid-deck, mission specialist Carlos Noriega. 1 minute 36 seconds into the flight. Endeavour 18 miles in altitude, 15 miles downrange. 3 good fuel cells, 3 good auxiliary power units. This view from long-range tracking cameras north of the launch pad at the Kennedy Space Center. Standing by for solid rocket booster separation coming up in about 8 seconds. Booster officer here in Mission Control reports a good solid rocket booster separation. Endeavour 32 miles in altitude, 40 miles downrange, putting on a light show for the eastern seaboard as it heads up the eastern seaboard. Guidance has converged, all 3 computers. And the booster officer reports the ignition of Endeavour's orbital maneuvering system engines. That will be a 1 minute 42-second kick in the pants for Endeavour as the shuttle gets an additional lift.
Endeavour on at the 90.
On at the 90.
Endeavour is now turning into its final turn. Just 2 minutes from touchdown. Commander Kevin Kriegel at the controls. Endeavour traveling at a speed of 420 miles an hour.
Roger, Endeavour.
Mama always told me not to look into the eyes of the sun. But Mama, that's where the fun is.
1 minute 20 seconds away from touchdown on runway 33 at the Kennedy Space Center. Endeavour's approach is more than 7 times as steep as a commercial airliner as it approaches the runway, traveling at a speed of 380 miles an hour. Time to touchdown, 1 minute. Endeavour's altitude now just 1,800 feet. Speed is 367 miles per hour. Time to touchdown, 35 seconds.
The live music on board at the runway.
Very shortly, pilot Don Gorey will lower the landing gear.
Landing gear down and locked.
The gear is now down and locked. 16 seconds to touchdown. Main gear touchdown. And nose gear touchdown. Endeavour rolls out on runway 33 at the Kennedy Space Center.
Touchdown. Main gear touchdown for Endeavour. Drag chute deployed. Nose gear touchdown.
And Endeavour and her crew back on Earth after a successful mapping mission to map the surface of the Earth with a clarity never before seen.
Roger, wheel stop Endeavour. Kevin, congratulations to you and the crew on a highly successful mission of mapping the world. There are no immediate post-landing deltas, and we'll meet you on page 5-3 of the entry checklist.
Wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light. Wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light. Madman drums, bombers, Indians in the summer with a teenage diplomat. In the dumps with the mumps as the adolescent pumps his way into his hat. With a boulder on my shoulder, feeling kinda older, I trip the merry-go-round. With his very unpleasing sneezing and wheezing, the calliope crashed to the ground. Wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light. Wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light. Wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light. Wrapped up like a douche. Some silicone sister with the manager, mister, told me I got what it takes. She said I'll turn you one son into something strong. Play the song with the funky break. And go-kart Mozart was checking out the weather chart, see if it was safe outside. And little early birdie came by in his curly-whirly and asked me if I needed a ride. Wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light. She got down, but she never got tight. She's gonna make it to the night. She's gonna make it through the night. another runner in the night, blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night, blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night, in the dark where the loses the adolescent pumps his way to his back, with a boulder on my shoulder, feeling kinda older and trapped, merry-go-round, with his various pleasing sleeves and weaves and that empty crash to the ground. Now Scott with a slingshot finally found a tender spot over his sand. As he thought shot, forget-me-not to ladies within edge, I take the buckshot dirt up the band. Some sound like old sister, but the manager mister. Oh, me, I got what it takes. She said, I'll do you work, son, into something strong.
10, 9, 8, 7, go for minute 3, 2.
Here we are on the flight deck as it's prior to liftoff. And there's liftoff.
Liftoff of Discovery and the team of explorers shaping their destiny.
See the sun. Oh, there's liftoff right there. Personal with the engine starting up. See the roll program here is the sun kind of shines through the cockpit. Well, part out here.
Roger, roll, Discovery.
Right there, the orbiter is going through its roll maneuver. Roll program.
Carrying the next resident crew to the International Space Station.
Blasting, billowing, bursting forth with the power of 10 billion butterfly species.
Of the rated thrust
Man with
that
his
is passing
flaming
through the
fire
area of
has
maximum
conquered the
aerodynamic
wayward
pressure.
breezes.
Discovery already at an
Climbing to
altitude of
tranquility,
5.5 miles.
far above the cloud, conceiving the heavens.
Discovery,
clear
go at
of
throttle
misty
up.
shroud.
Discovery 3 liquid fuel main engines are now back at full throttle, 104% of rated thrust.
Again, it's a view of Discovery's liftoff and a climb to orbit as seen from onboard.
Vast vision must improve our sight, and perhaps at last we'll see an end to our home's endless flight, and the beginning of the free. Climb to tranquility, finding its real worth, conceiving the heavens, flourishing on earth.
1.5 minutes of flight.
In the shuttle cockpit.
Discovery has now expended 2.5 million pounds of propellant. It weighs less than half of what it did at the time of its liftoff, on an altitude of 19 miles, downrange from the Kennedy Space Center at 17 miles.
That's a flash as the solid rocket boosters separated. That's 2 minutes into flight.
The flight and the booster officer here in Mission Control confirmed separation of the solid rocket booster.
T-minus 1 minute, 35 seconds. All systems are go. We're about 90 seconds from launch of the Space Shuttle Discovery. And we have a go for auto sequence start. Discovery's onboard computers have primary control of all the vehicle's critical functions.
T-minus 22 seconds. T-minus 15 seconds and counting. 10 seconds. We have a go for main engine start. 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have booster ignition and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, lighting up the nighttime sky as we continue building the International Space Station.
Discovery rolling on course for rendezvous with the International Space Station. Speed 1,000 miles an hour, altitude 1 mile, down range 1.5 miles from Kennedy Space Center already. Pretty good engine, throttling back to 2/3 of the rate of thrust. Passing the air at maximum dynamic pressure, not just supersonic. Use the external tank camera.
Discovery Houston, go and throttle up. Go and throttle up.
All systems remain go for Discovery. Altitude 8 miles. Speed 1,700 miles an hour. Downrange 10 miles from Kennedy Space Center. A year and a half since launch, Discovery already consumed more than 2.25 million pounds of propellant. It now weighs less than half that it did at liftoff. Altitude 18 miles. Speed 3,000 miles an hour. Already 22 miles northeast of Kennedy Space Center. Pretty good engine, pretty good auxiliary power unit, pretty good fuel cell. Boost ops are confirmed. Clean separation of the two solid rockets. Discovery 3 engines now powering the second stage.
on my mark, we're initiating the RPM. Three, two, one, mark.
Alpha Discovery just initiated the RPM.
And the rotational pitch maneuver is underway. This is about an 8-minute, 360-degree rotational maneuver of the shuttle. During this rotational pitch maneuver, a period of about 100 seconds or so will offer the station crew, particularly Mikhail Turin and Thomas Ryder, an opportunity to take as many as 300 photographs of the space shuttle's underside. The RPM, or rotational pitch maneuver, begins with the two spacecraft 600 feet apart, 220 miles above the South Pacific.
Alpha Discovery and photos.
Alpha and photos.
Alpha and photos.
During that brief 100-second period of time, the station crew likely took about 300 or so photos of Discovery. Now a little more than halfway through a 360-degree rotational pitch maneuver.
Respond. I know you're eating lunch right now, but whenever you're down and it's a good time, give us a call back. We have some entry-related weather and APU issues just to give you a heads up on. Nothing that critical.
Okay, Houston, we're listening.
Okay, Steve, first thing is late inspection results. They've been looking at the data, and after finishing the review for the port starboard weighing and nose caps, they did not see anything new, so they all look pretty good. For weather, KSC, it's nothing very different than the quick story I gave you earlier. The clouds shouldn't be an issue tomorrow. However, there's still a chance of showers for the first rev, and a little higher chance probably for the second rev. There's a front that's extended off into the Atlantic, and depending on how it moves tonight, it may be close enough to cause some showers in the area, so we'll be looking real close at that. Edwards, though, is looking real good for both tomorrow and Tuesday if we need it.
Okay, we copy that. So is the vehicle cleared for entry?
That's the firm. I'm being told I can use that word. You are cleared for entry.
Okay, thanks. And question out tomorrow, will we land
no matter what, or will we just go for KFC tomorrow?
Now, tomorrow's at KFC only. For Tuesday, we'll look at other sites, but for tomorrow, we're just calling up KFC. However, the weather does look good for the West Coast for at least the next 2 days.
Saturday morning wake-up call to the astronauts on board Space Shuttle Endeavour signaled the next important step in assembly of the International Space Station, arrival of the orbiter on its mission to deliver the largest solar arrays ever built. While the ISS crew members prepared their vessel for docking, Shuttle Commander Brent Jett and pilot Mike Bloomfield configured systems on Endeavour's flight deck. At a distance of about 8 miles from ISS, they established communications with Expedition Commander Bill Shepard on board the station.
Alpha Endeavour, we're just inside of TI. Get ready for the MC-1 burn. Okay, we copy.
During the next orbit, the shuttle inched up on ISS. Jett moved to the aft flight deck to take manual control of his ship as it neared a point directly below the station. With the station crew monitoring from inside the Zvezda module, Jett pulsed the orbiter's thrusters to push Endeavour toward ISS. At a range of 500 feet, Jett maneuvered the shuttle to turn its tail into the direction of travel, and then resumed the slow, methodical approach to the station's pressurized mating adapter number 3, which was delivered by a shuttle crew in October. At 30 feet, Jett paused briefly to confirm the two ships were properly aligned and sent word that all was ready, first to spacecraft communicator Shannon Lucid in Houston, and then to Shepard on board ISS.
And Houston, we see that there is not a flyout required and we're commencing final approach.
And Endeavour Houston copies.
Endeavour station keeping at 30 feet, requesting permission to come alongside and dock at PMA 3. Endeavour Alpha, Romeo closed up, clear to board at PMA 3. Copy, closing up Romeo, we're commencing the final approach.
Jett pulsed Endeavour's thrusters. The station was commanded to free drift to prevent inadvertent jet firings. And as the two vessels flew above the border of Russia and Kazakhstan, from where the expedition crew was launched 32 days ago, Shepard and crewmates Yuri Yudzenko and Sergei Krikalev watched and listened as Endeavour pressed up to their door.
16 inches. 8 inches. 2 inches. Contact. No contact. Red capture confirmed. Alpha, through this. At Alpha, we confirm that. We see your loading lights flashing. Houston, capture confirmed.
As the leak and pressure checks between the two vessels were completed, the workday for the 3 station crew members wrapped up, at just about the time that Lucid informed Jett of the day's other news regarding his alma mater, the U.S. Naval Academy.
And Endeavour Houston, just football update. Navy beat Army 30-28.
All right, this turned out to be a pretty good day.
That's for sure. That was an awesome rendezvous and an approach and docking.
Yeah, I just hope I saved enough in the forward for Bloomer to get the fly around.
Mission Control later told Jett he had in fact saved plenty of propellant for Bloomfield's scheduled fly-around of the station at the conclusion of dock operations next Saturday. After Jett and Bloomfield fired thrusters to test the structural dynamics of the station, Bloomfield helped mission specialist Mark Garneau power up the shuttle's robot arm, which the Canadian astronaut maneuvered to grapple the P6 integrated thrust structure in Endeavour's payload bay. Garneau lifted the structure, which contains the station's first set of U.S. solar arrays, into a position where its temperature can equalize with that of the rest of the station. Saturday evening, mission specialists Carlos Noriega and Joe Tanner reported some difficulty opening the hatch to PMA-3, and Mission Control reported that significant force had been required on some previous flights to open that hatch. Marine Colonel Noriega gave it a try, without success. So his spacewalking partner, former Navy pilot Tanner, took a turn.
And Endeavour Houston, update on the score previously passed to you today. It's now Navy 1, Marine Corps nothing.
After installing electrical grounding straps in the PMA and delivering supplies for later retrieval by the station crew, and taking a peek through the other side of the PMA into the station's Unity module, Tanner and Noriega and their crewmates finished a very full day by reviewing plans for the first of this mission's 3 planned spacewalks, slated to begin Sunday afternoon, when they're to install the P6 structure atop the station's Z1 truss and unfurl its 2 115-foot-long solar arrays.
Discovery is now 650 feet above and behind the station, having crossed over the top of the complex. The 2 spacecraft now beginning to track up the Texas coast, tracking northeasterly into an orbital sunset.
Mission is over, mission is done. I will miss you, children of the sun. I go home, someday I say goodbye.
Discovery leaving the International Space Station more powerful and more capable than it ever has been, with the addition of the P5 truss spacer and the reconfiguration of the station's interim power system to the permanent power system.
Steve, as you're going into observation 1-4, we'd like for you to disconnect the J2 connector on the power interface box, and we'll see if that helps.
Okay, and do you see a decent image of the comet on your screen right now, or is it just too messy to see?
No, we've got a very good image.
there's another one here from Suzanne Shaw from Terre Haute, Indiana, who's 52. Do you find yourself distracted or gazing at Earth because it looks so awesome from your view? Well, we were so busy when we were docked to the station that we really didn't get a chance to look out at the Earth, and we didn't have a lot of windows in there, so we didn't have a chance to get distracted. But today and yesterday, when we were undocked, you'd see really interesting things on the Earth, and it was a little bit easy to get distracted, but if you had something to do, you just had to get it done and hope that next time when you had a chance, you could go out and see some neat things. Like today, we passed over Bermuda. It was very pretty. We saw some very nice features over in South America, and as they're pointing the camera out the window right now, you can see that it's just pretty, and no matter where you are, as you go over
Hello, my internet question is from Christian Barr from Tonstein, Bavaria, age 28. How does it feel on board the shuttle when the three main engines stop after the climb to orbit? This must be the moment of feeling zero gravity for the first time, I guess. Do you feel a shock or like something breaking down hard when the engine stops? Well, the big shock is actually at liftoff. When the engine shut off, yes, it does seem very sudden. What actually happens is you're being pressed down very hard because you're lying on your back, and the forces of gravity are actually 3 times the force of gravity because of our acceleration, is making it actually very hard to breathe. And then suddenly it gets really easy to breathe, and everything floats up in front of you, and it's just like a magic moment.
This view now from the International Space Station as the cameras on the robotic arm scan the payload bay of Atlantis, looking straight down at the Quest airlock and the very rear of the orbiter itself, now just 258 feet away from the docking to the station. You're looking right down the top of Quest, the equipment lock on the right, the crew lock on the left, with the hatch through which Mike Gernhardt and Jim Riley will exit during the third spacewalk of this mission. Now you're looking at the 4 high-pressure gas tanks in the payload bay and the orbiter docking system. The outer ring of that docking system will make contact with the docking port on the Destiny laboratory of the International Space Station about 25 minutes from now.
Discovery's orbital path take it above Utah and Wyoming, South Dakota, and Minnesota, and then above the Great Lakes. Now in view is Utah Salt Lake, the Great Salt Lake in northern Utah and Salt Lake City. This is live television view from Discovery now as Discovery and the International Space Station cross the coast of northern California of the United States. Their course will take them across northern California, northern Nevada, and then northeast through Idaho, Montana, and North Dakota before crossing the Canadian border just to the west of the Great Lakes. In view now from Discovery's television cameras, smoke visible in the haze on the left or right center portion of this view above forest fires in eastern Oregon and Idaho. This is Mission Control Houston. This television view showing Tropical Storm Chantal on the verge of becoming a hurricane just beyond Cuba. And now in the foreground, the Florida Peninsula and the Bahamas. And now coming into view is the Cape Canaveral area of Florida and the Kennedy Space Center.
Discovery Houston on Susan. Go ahead, Mario. Susan, I'm happy to pass along the news that your sister Margie has given birth about an hour ago to Jonathan Patrick. 6 pounds 9 ounces, 19 inches long. Mom and baby are doing great. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mario. That's great news. I was sure this was going to happen anytime soon, so thanks.
In this view of Typhoon Paibuk as seen from Discovery, this storm had a peak winds, sustained winds of up to 115 miles per hour at its peak in the eastern Pacific to the southeast of Japan. Also designated Typhoon number 14 in the Pacific. This recorded video recorded from Discovery's television cameras a couple of days ago. Again, as Discovery flew over that typhoon in the Pacific Ocean, its influence is extending for hundreds of miles as Discovery.
Atlantis about to move into orbital sunrise in this picture from Payload Bay cameras on the orbiter. Again, everything going very smoothly with the checkout of the flight control surfaces aboard Atlantis by Commander Steve Lindsay, pilot Charlie Hobaugh, and flight engineer Janet Kovandi. Atlantis currently orbiting over Western Europe at an altitude of about 241 statute miles. This is Mission Control Houston. The propulsion officer in Mission Control reports a good reaction control system hot fire test. All of Atlantis' steering jets have been checked out to be fully functional and ready to support tomorrow night's landing. So with the successful completion of all of the routine pre-landing checks of Atlantis' systems, the crew now will press ahead to begin to stow the crew cabin. About an hour from now, Commander Steve Lindsay and pilot Charlie Hobaugh will sit down on the flight deck with a laptop computer to run a program called PILOT, which is an acronym for Portable In-Flight Landing Operations Trainer. The PILOT program essentially mimics entry and landing and offers Lindsay and Hobaugh an opportunity to get a little stick time to freshen up their proficiency before doing the real thing tomorrow night to bring Atlantis home.
Steve, before we sign off for the night, I wanted to pass on to Alan Flynn and the folks over at XA that we did get their new EVA patch installed in the Space Station airlock, kind of at the last minute on the way out. And for those of you who aren't familiar, that's the patch that all astronauts wear on the right shoulder of their arm. The blue and gold patch based on the original artwork of Leonardo da Vinci, the Sidious Man, and it's symbolic of the goal of the EVA community to develop hardware that is limited only by man's natural ability and not by the hardware itself. So anyhow, that's displayed in a pounded place in the airlock. Will be there for years to come. And while I have the line here, I'd also like to extend our thanks to Dave Holman and the folks at the DR Lab who really did a great job and had a lot to do with the success of this mission, including Dave's friend Doug over there. And then, of course, the robotics folks, Lane Honeycutt, Johnny Young, Terry Robaugh, and Mark Lipsky, and also Christine Tyrell and the Eclipse team, as well as all the other folks of both control teams. Anyhow, great. Thanks for all the support, and we'll be checking out for the night.
And Mike, those are kind words, and we'll pass them on, and I'm sure they'll all be pleased to hear that and feel that recognition. On behalf of the Orbit 2 team, in case you guys land tomorrow, I'd just like to say that it really has been a privilege and a pleasure to support you guys during the mission, and look forward to seeing you at Ellington, and have a good landing.
All right, Steve, thanks, and we appreciate all those words and all the help you guys gave us through the mission. We didn't do it alone, we did it together, us and you, so thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Okay, with that, we wish you good night.
Endeavour now almost directly above the International Space Station, crossing the R-bar, the imaginary line between the center of the Earth and the space station. Endeavour continuing its half circle of the International Space Station, now to a point behind the orbiting laboratory and still above it. When it reaches a point directly behind the station along the so-called velocity bar, a separation burn will be performed that will take Endeavour away from the International Space Station.
Endeavour Houston, no entry required. You go to take data in radar mode.
Houston, Endeavour Alpha's solar arrays appear feathered.
Endeavour Houston, we concur.
Now we're looking down at Endeavour just as Commander Don Gory reports that the solar arrays of the International Space Station appear feathered in preparation for docking of the orbiter. The feathering process places the array's edge on to the orbiter as it approaches the International Space Station. That's done to avoid possible damage or contamination from the reaction control system jets maneuvering the orbiter.
Give you a heads up, we got our first laser hit. And the range was 4,638 feet.
Copy, Rick. Roger that.
Rick Linehan reporting through the use of handheld laser device on board Columbia, the first visual sighting of the Hubble Space Telescope at a distance of about 4,300 feet.
Very good, Pete. Go ahead. It's great to see an old friend, and the solar rays are nominal.
Roger that. That's great news, John.
Payload Commander John Grunsfeld reporting that the Hubble Space Telescope appears to be in excellent shape, and the solar arrays are as well. Everything poised for the capture of the telescope and the start of 5 days worth of servicing and upgrades. This is Mission Control Houston. Now 5.5 hours into this morning's spacewalk by John Grunsfeld and Rick Linehan as they continue to work to swap places at the end of the shuttle's robot arm for the final tasks of the morning.
That's mated. T601 is mated. Copy, T601 mated. Your next is the MOI-10. Okay, I'm going to start the cap now. Houston, Columbia for EDA.
Go ahead, Mike.
T601 mated.
Copy that, and we see it.
Verify ED1 and ED2 O2 valves open.
This is Mission Control Houston. You're looking at the new solar array, the starboard solar array on the Hubble Space Telescope.
Okay, and John, right before we cut off here, would you give us your O2 off your DCM? Yep, I was just going for that. 563 and increasing. I think it was about 490. Oh, we missed it, sorry. Okay. 490 at Ingram.
Grunsfeld and Linehan, who installed this new solar array, now in Columbia's airlock, finishing up their first phase.
Columbia Houston, reaction wheel assembly, functional test. Good.
Houston, Columbia, thanks for the word. You see it in orbiter rate. Okay, John, you ready? Mike, I am ready. Working at the front.
Tech call telling the crew the reaction wheel assembly that they installed is working as advertised.
Spring socket. See an MTO. I see looks like a 2-inch socket. I see full paddle. I see a large full paddle. I think that's what we showed it with.
The port solar array that they installed has also passed its initial test.
I see a door extension. I see an old tether. The door extension's on an integral tether. I see an old tether on an integral tether. Hey, Mike. Yes. Up here on Columbia on STS 109, we've just finished 5 days of spacewalking. We've given Hubble a new power system that'll take it off into the next decade of discovery. We've given it new eyes to see deeper into the universe than it's ever been able to see before. And I think you'll see that people at the Space Telescope Science Institute, universities all around the world, amateur astronomers, young and old, will be able to enjoy the beauty and inspiration that these new pictures from Hubble will bring. I'm convinced that the next most incredible discovery from Hubble is one that's probably months, if not years away. And the work that we've done up here on Columbia is just a small part of what has brought us to the point of being able to make those discoveries. Part of it, though, is the people, and it's people up here servicing spacecraft like Hubble and being able to make it better. It's really the incredible story. And although there's 7 of us on orbit, there's a huge team on the ground at the Goddard Space Flight Center, Space Telescope Science Institute, Ball Aerospace, Wales, Orbital, Lockheed Martin, United Space Alliance. The list goes on and on with maybe thousands of people who've worked on this mission, tens of thousands, to get Columbia into the wonderful state it's in for us to go to orbit. John, I was thinking about that all day. This is the third time now that I've been out in space. It amazed me at Post Hamilton that something that could build a piece of apparatus or equipment like this that allows humans to come out into the harshest environment imaginable and function and work almost as if we didn't have it done. After a while, working in the EMU, it almost becomes like a second skin, an exoskeleton. And it's just amazing what you can do here, and also the view. I just still can't believe that I'm here, and I've got to spend this time in space with 6 other just fantastic people. And there's no way we could have accomplished the mission without those people. Just an amazing crew, and just a wonderful experience. And I guess a little kind of on a lighter note, or comic relief here, this is a true story. My physics professor, or my physics teacher in high school, he's listening. He told me the only thing I'd ever be good at is taking up space. So I guess I made it big time. We have a beautiful view of Mr. Hubble, the telescope, over the Earth's horizon, ready to go and make new discoveries. And from the crew of STS-109, we've been Hubble well on its new journey with its new tools to explore the universe. Good luck, Mr. Hubble.
And we wish it well from down here as well, John. Thanks for the words.
In Atlantis, that's all we've had. It was a phenomenal day for both robotics and EVA. Everyone did a wonderful job, and both teams are pleased with all the work that you've done. We're happy that tomorrow is a lighter day, and we're sure that you all will rest well this evening. So with that, the Orbit 2 team will say goodnight, and in about an hour we'll hand over to Orbit 3 with Shannon and Steve Stitt.
Okay, thanks a lot, Stephanie, and I want to thank everybody. I know there are literally thousands of people that spent a lot of time making this mission work, and today was the big day. Get the struts and get the power on X0, and it took a little bit from everybody to make it happen. And just want to extend our thanks for all the hard work out there. We really appreciate it. You make us all look really good, so thank you so much.
Houston Alpha on Space Ground 2. This is, I would say, probably the next to last tradition that we'll have. The last tradition will be ringing the ship's bell when we depart. But one of the traditions that Expedition 1 continued, and of course was kept on by Expedition 2, by you, Susan, and Expedition 3, was in the nose we have a special place to put our Expedition emblem or patch or sticker. And we're going to do that now, and Yuri's going to place that, and that is basically, I guess, the official end of handover.
This dramatic view from the S1 external camera at the very end of the 45-foot-long truss shows the station's robotic arm, the Canadarm2, being swung into position near the Quest airlock for the start of today's spacewalk. Ultimately, that robot arm will be used as the work platform for Piers Sellers, who will affix his feet inside a portable foot restraint mounted at the end of that latching end effector that you see at the end of the arm. And of course, clearly in view, the front portion of the shuttle Atlantis, mated to the forward docking port of the Destiny Laboratory of the International Space Station. At an altitude of about 243 statute miles above the Earth at its apogee, 208 statute miles at its perigee, all of Endeavour systems in excellent shape. A little over 3 hours away from the next rendezvous maneuver, the next rendezvous burn that will refine Endeavour's path to the International Space Station, aiming for a docking at 3:26 p.m. Central Time, 4:26 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday afternoon. Currently, Endeavour is trailing the International Space Station by about 1,700 statute miles, maintaining a closure rate of about 310 statute miles per orbit.
thanks for the music. It really is a beautiful day up here. We're awake and getting ready to get to work with the inspection.
Steve McLean now at his third work site to remove cover 17 to provide access to launch block number 4. And as we saw through the helmet cam of Dan Burbank, he is at his work site for cover 10 removal.
Okay, how do you have cover 10, 7 is closed. So the inboard drop at 6 counterclockwise 3. And Dan, that's a good copy. Okay, either cover is removed. Okay, Steve, cover is removed, and now for the launch box, that will be Bravo 7, counterclockwise 3. Okay, copy, Bravo 7, counterclockwise 3, tethering chart.
Steve McLean, recognizable by the candy cane pattern on the legs of his spacesuit, the diagonal red hash mark as he makes his way back toward the work site out on the end of the T4 truck.
Sure, I thought we bought all that heavy hardware just if we had to, we would have needed it. Yeah.
Camera on the shuttle's remote manipulator system. 30 seconds to the burn. The burn will last 36 seconds, changing the velocity by 57 feet per second, or about 38 miles per hour with the conversion.
Shall I go, or shall I stay? 107 light years away. Many times,
firing aboard Discovery, the glow from the twin orbital ring system engines on the tail. 36-second burn firing both engines, which each produce about 6,000 pounds of thrust.
Now it's time to go away. Goodbye. Goodbye, Milky Way.
And the rotational pitch maneuver is underway. This is about an 8-minute, 360-degree rotational maneuver of the shuttle. During this rotational pitch maneuver, a period of about 100 seconds or so, the launch
you home. Till someday I say goodbye. Goodbye, Milky Way.
Thanks for all the great work from your team and all the other folks here. Columbia for the flight crew, closed and launch advisors, and initiate O2 plus.
The crew of Columbia is on a mission of scientific research into physical processes that affect life on Earth and in space.
9, 8, 7. We have a go for main engine start. 5, 4, 3, 2. We have booster ignition.
Here we are on the flight deck, just prior to liftoff, and there's liftoff.
Liftoff of Space Shuttle Columbia with a multitude of national and international space fleet logistics.
Sun, oh, there's liftoff right there, personal with the engine starting up. You see the roll program here is the sun kind of shines through the cockpit. Right there, the orbiter is going through its roll maneuver, roll program, and the vehicle just flew beautifully.
Houston now controlling the flight of Columbia, the international research mission finally underway.
Roger, roll. Yes.
Columbia now rolling on to the proper azimuth for a 39-degree inclination to orbit. Shuttle in a heads-down, wings level position for the 8.5-minute ride to orbit. 30 seconds into the flight, the 3 liquid fuel main engines beginning to throttle back in a 3-step fashion. 72% of rated performance, reducing the stress on the shuttle as it breaks through the sound barrier. Columbia already 2.5 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center, 4.5 miles in altitude. The main engines beginning to rev up to full throttle, 104% of rated performance. The throttle up call acknowledged by Commander Rick Husband, joined on the flight deck by pilot Willie McCool, flight engineer Kalpana Chawla, and mission specialist Dave Brown, mission specialist Laurel Clark, payload commander Mike Anderson, and payload specialist Ilan Ramon seated down on the middeck. 1 minute, 26 seconds into the flight, Columbia 10 miles downrange, 13 miles in altitude, traveling at 18.
We had a great ride. We had the brilliant sunshine coming in through the windows in the front, and it was just a fantastic ride all the way up. Some people have said that out of Columbia, they have to do a lot of work on it on the ground, but when it gets in space, it does wonderful, and we think that's because you just love it.
Away from solid rocket booster separation, everything looking good on board Columbia.
Linda, that song makes us think that from our orbital vantage point, we observe an Earth without borders, full of beauty and magnificence. And we pray that humanity as a whole can imagine a borderless world as we see it, and strive to live as one in peace. And with that, Ilan would like to translate in Hebrew.
ולהיק, מזווית המבט שלנו כאן בחלל, כשאנו סוללים במסלול סביב כדור הארץ, אנו מביטים אליכם, ולמולנו נשקף עולם ללא גבולות, מלא שלווה והדר. ומינה בלבנו שהאנושות כולה כאחד, לדמיין את העולם כפי שנשקף לנו, ללא גבולות, ונשאף לחיות ביחד, בשלום. ובמילות השיר אתם יכולים אולי לומר שאני מדמיין וחולם, אבל אני לא היחיד. אני מקווה שיבוא יום ותצטרפו אלינו ותוכלו לחיות בעולם נפלא.
Dr. Willie and your team, we appreciate all those words, and we wish that everyone down here could have your view of the world that your team.
Columbia, conducting a wide-ranging scientific research mission with the potential to improve life on Earth and better prepare us for life in space.
We're seeing live outlinks from Columbia as the orbiter is just about to cross the east coast of Africa.
Your head is humming and it won't go, in case you don't know. The piper's calling you to join him. Dear lady, can you hear the wind blow? And did you know your stairway lies on the whispering wind?
And that's a wonderful song. May you turn up another wonderful day in space. And I'd like to thank my wife and my two kids for all their support for this party. And we'll make a good baby on a Thursday morning.